Welcome to this special episode of What's in the Box. And of course, What's in the Box is an occasional series in which I buy things to entertain you. Mostly they come from eBay, and well, I think what makes this special isn't the fact that I bought something, it's that it came in this big, huge box. So let's tilt the camera down and see what's here. Okay, so this came from the great state of Minnesota. So let's see what's in here. Well, as you can see, luckily it's simply a camera bag packed inside of a box. So let's get this camera bag out and see what's in the bag. As you can see, everything is packed pretty neatly inside this Canon branded camera bag. So let's take a look. I'm not sure what these, the flaps actually would go inside to protect your additional material, your additional items. So in the top we have a couple lens hoods. We have a blue filter. So let's talk about the blue filter. These blue filters really weren't meant for everyday photography use. What they are really intended for was for color correction. So if you are using, see if I can get this right, if you were using a daylight film indoors, you would use the blue filter, or would you use the blue filter with tungsten film? Perhaps that was it. In any case, they were color compensating filters to be used with certain types of film. Oh, we have a small little Canon point and shoot. You can tell this is older because it has a very tiny LCD. And I believe it says on here, yes, here we are, 3.2 megapixels. So this probably would put it, let me see, around 2002 maybe, 2001, somewhere around there. All right, put that off to the side. Here's a little camera case. Don't know what's in here. Front pouch is empty. And inside this, oh please, okay, good. I'm always thinking, please let there not be any bugs. This is a little point and shoot camera. I think this might be yes, this is an APS camera, and you can tell by the this is an APS film door. If you notice, with APS you didn't open the film back; it just had a little film door. You would drop the APS cassette in there, APS film cassette, and it would automatically wind to the first frame. This was a Kodak, obviously, and it had a very tiny, little small lens. The APS film format was interesting. I think it was a good idea, but digital really killed it. Couple memory cards. Here is a 1 gigabyte card. This probably would fit the small Canon. Here's an 8 megabyte compact flash card. I'm going to guess that this was the original card that came with the camera, because often you got a starter camera, or often you got a starter card. Here's some lens cleaning fluid. I don't think we'll save that. A rubber eye cup. Not sure what camera that's for. And a variety. Oh wait, 256 megabyte SD card. A 16, is this 16 megabytes or gigabytes? The writing's so small I can no longer tell. All right, so that is 16 megabytes. Oh, you know what? This is Canon, so I bet this is what goes with that camera. And here's various pieces of film. This is also a little, well, this is a flash. So what you would do here, if you notice, has a little flash synchronization thing. So if you had a flash unit that you could only use to synchronize with a cable, maybe like bulb flash or something, you would use this small synchronization port. You would use this small synchronization port here, slide this in, and you notice that there's electrical contact. A small flash unit, Quanta-Ray, so that would be Ritz camera. I believe that was their brand. And here's some batteries. These are just standard AA, so we're going to get rid of them before they burst and explode. Here's a lens. This is a Chiron lens, 30 to 80. Chiron had a pretty good reputation, depending on what lens. Chiron, I believe, made some of the Vivitar Series 1, and it also obviously made their own. This is a 30 to 80, and you'll notice that there is a aperture range. So it'd be f3.5 at 30 millimeters, and then when you're at 80 millimeters, the maximum aperture would be f4.5. This is a macro lens, which means it could get down to 1 to 4 reproduction ratio, 55 millimeter filter thread. MC would be multi-coating. And of course, this would be the serial number of the lens. Well, this is interesting. This would be a piece of back of a lens or a lens mount. Now that can't be good. And here we have an auto winder. I'm not going to tell you what brand it is. And the cover is flaking off. Finally, we have a camera in which they put the the top half of the case on upside down. Probably because they didn't know. Let's take off this lens shade. All right. So here we have the Yashica FXD. The Yashica FXD is notable for being a virtual clone, or the stablemate, the less expensive stablemate of the Contax 139 quartz. And I'm going to compare these two at some point in the near future, not the far future, but the near future. These are very, very decent cameras. They're somewhat loud, but they're still good cameras nonetheless. Let's take this out of its case. As is typical of the cameras that came out of Yashica and then later Kyocera, the coverings on most of these cameras has worn away, and you can see little bits of it still left, the black leather covering. And so now you're just down to like a fabric. It's almost like a denim type fabric. So this will have to be removed. In fact, you can see how simple it is. I can pull it off with my hands. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to replace it with, I've already ordered it. We're going to, well, here we go. We're going to replace it with, oh my gosh. Oh. This is like an Asian thing. Oh my gosh. We're going to replace it with some, oh, look, they gave me a bonus covering. This is a geometric pattern. This actually is not the original. I decided to go more with the pebble grain finish. So this will be placed on this camera. And so you can see, if you can envision, this will then slide onto here. Oh, free practice kit. That's unusual. I've replaced probably the coverings on well, every Yashica Contax camera that I own. and it's I don't know what happened. They just I don't know why, but almost every camera that you encounter, you're going to have to replace the covering on it. So we'll replace this, and then we'll come back and we'll look at this camera. So as I mentioned, this is really a clone of the Contax 139. It shares the same lens mount. This would be the lower cost alternative, which I think I already stated. And this comes with a 50 millimeter f2 lens. I do happen to have one here, just to show you what I mean. I happen to have this in black. This is not a design. This once again suffers from the same problem, which the covering just wore off. And this is this one happens to have a 1.9 50 millimeter lens. So interesting that one is 1.9 and one is f2. And functionally, there's really no difference between f2 and f1.9 other than marketing. These are pretty decent cameras. Well, you know what? These are pretty decent cameras overall. And at some point, they're not quite as refined as the Contax, but they're good cameras overall and a decent alternative. Let's see if there's any batteries in here. I really hope that there isn't, but we'll see. With the other one, there were batteries in it, but they were almost ready to burst. They were very wet. So this one does have batteries in it. Let's see if the take a look and see if the these have any juice in them. Nope, these batteries are dead. We'll replace the batteries, and we're going to come back and look at this camera. So there we have it, another episode of What's in the Box. If you enjoyed this, think about giving me a like on this video, and feel free to leave a comment in the space below, or send me an email at, put it up here I guess, at contact@camera-talk.net. And if you're so inclined, I think that's the lower right corner. Yeah, that's the lower right corner. That's a lower right corner. Click on that icon in the lower right corner for more content about cameras and photography. And I'll see you on the next video.